What is up today, guys? Today we're going to be working on the 250EX. I have her sitting right here. So basically it's just going to be like a general tune-up. Like I said, this thing has been sitting for 10 years. The rest of the stuff on the quad is pretty much done. I replaced the transaxle fluid or differential. Going to be throwing a new battery in, put new oil in it, put a new spark plug in it. And the gas tank was empty already, so I'll be throwing some new gas in, and that'll pretty much be it. It should be ready to go. I have the new side piece to go on. Brought the quad in because it was getting dark out, and I think in the meantime I'm just going to throw the battery in and switch these tires out, and then all I have to do is put the carb on and hopefully it starts up. Alright guys, so I'm back out here with the 250EX. I had to pack everything up last night. It just got way too late. I just got done flushing the gas tank. It was kind of like weird funky color in there. There was some dirt in there, so I filled it with gas, shook it around, and just drained it a little bit. I have my carb here. It's all cleaned up. This thing's pretty much ready to go back on. I'm just having trouble getting this gasket to stay in the groove. It keeps popping off every time I try to put it back on. And my air filter, the new air filter's on there. I oiled it, and this filter thing on the inside just does not want to go over this little ridge here. I've just been grappling with it, so that's what I was doing last night when I finally decided to pack it up. So I'm just going to take care of those two things, throw the carburetor on, throw the air filter on, and it hopefully will fire right up. And otherwise I just got to put some pressure in the tires, and it's done. This thing was a serious pain in the ass, but basically how I got it in there, I took this hug and the one belt or on the plastic was about the same diameter or circumference as the filter, and it's tapered, so I just kind of like laid that around that inner filter. And then that helped the that little ridge kind of like slide past the filter, and it popped right on. So sometimes the simplest crap can get the job done. Alright, so my carb's on there. I'm just going to do a quick leak test. Throw this puppy on reserve. See if our bowl leaks or anything. Looks good. Like I said, I did clear our fuel our fuel tank, and I checked the fuel lines to make sure we're getting a good fuel flow. So gas is definitely getting in there. Let's get this air box on, the air filter in, and fire this puppy up. Alright, so the air box and everything is on, carb is on, battery's in there. I'm just going to throw a little bit of some gas treatment in here just before we start, just because anytime a motor hasn't been started in a long time or run in a long time, I just like to throw some, this is like a seafoam equivalent. I just like to run that in there. So let's see what happens here. Hopefully it starts. Alright, so I wasn't getting any power, and I found this fuse in the back was blown, so I replaced the fuse. Boom. Boom. Got power. Let's try this again. Alright, so I've been tinkering around with this thing since I got it running, and it's running pretty good right now, but the engine's making a knocking noise, and I was concerned. Originally I thought it was a crank bearing, and I used a stethoscope, and I can tell it's coming from up here, which is where the clutch is. So I'm hoping that if I adjust this here, right here, maybe if I adjust the clutches, it'll go away. I mean, this quad has such low hours, I can't imagine anything being worn out inside. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust that. I'll start it up real quick and show you the noise. It's pretty noisy. So I'm going to try turning the idle down and adjusting that, and hopefully it'll fix it. Alright guys, so this thing is done. It came out really nice. It's super clean. I did adjust the free play in the clutch, and I also lowered the idle, and it reduced that knocking sound. The good news is I did some research, and the 250EX apparently is notorious for making sounds from the clutch. So considering that this quad has such low hours, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. When I lowered the idle, it did reduce the sound quite a bit, and it runs so good. It doesn't make any sounds when it's running. I think everything's fine. The thicker oil might calm it down a little bit, but you really barely even notice it. I think it was just very apparent because I had the idle set too high, and you know, obviously I'm going to be sensitive to stuff like that because I just put the quad together and did work on it, and it's not even my quad, so things like that are just nature of the beast, I think, in this case. And it took me a little bit off guard at start, but this thing's ready to rock and roll. So just in conclusion, I cleaned the carburetor, put a new spark plug in, new back tires, new air filter, carburetor was completely redone, super cleaned. I did some electrical work on it, replaced a fuse. This CDI box was hanging. I had to redo the one harness right there. So I hooked all that stuff back up and some other odds and ends. But all in all, not too difficult to get running again, and it really runs awesome. I was just scooting around the yard. It wheelies really easy. So I'm gonna get some quick riding footage with my my helmet cam, and then that'll be it for this one. All right, been a while since I've had the helmet cam on. Check this thing out. I mean, you could have some fun with this bike.